was passed under President Akufo-Addo last year. I want to be sure.
No, Honorable.
Chairman.
Honorable.
The nominee
Yeah.
is very knowledgeable and capable of answering the question.
But Honorable has been passed. So that doesn't mean. So you may go ahead and rephrase your question.
Chairman, Agnes, you
Please answer the question.
yes. She can.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, I'm talking about the affirmative action element.
You see, I know the qualities of the nominee. So, Chairman, don't babysit her. You'll be facing the caterers and service providers at your ministry. I mean the school feeding caterers. I know it was a policy that was introduced under President Kufo. It was carried through by President Mills, President Mahama, President Akufo-Addo, talk about the capitation grant and what have you. I know it's not enough, and there's always been agitations, fighting here, releases.
To even the private schools. And from my check, that about 40 days have been 31 days in arrears in terms of what is owed the caterers. I think with me, one of the things I believe that His Excellency has committed to ensuring that not only the implementation of the school feeding goes on smoothly, but also the quality is assured. And so I will work within that framework to ensure that the rest of the payment is done with the finance ministry and then also.
Thank you. As a proud native of Nungwa, a very, very important fishing community, deep in custom and tradition. What are you going to do to assist the people of Nungwa in your new ministry? And I wish you the very best.
The ministry that will benefit all Ghanaians. I wish that Awo or Nungwa is not excluded, but to also make sure that all the support they have given me to this point, they also participate or also benefit in projects and programs such as the school feeding, the LEAP project, and other social protection that they deserve. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Chairman, not about the good people of Okankwe Central. Is that assurance?
Yes,
Thank you very much.
I have two questions for you. My first question is about novel policy and program that we never have it in the history of this country. I believe that is the reason Ghanaians gave His Excellency 57% of the vote. And this is about the women bank, particularly the people of Nugua fishmongers. We benefit from. Thank you.
thank you, Mr. Chairman. First of all, I want to thank the committee that my constituency is supposed to actually support women in business. Unlike the traditional banking system, it is supposed to be quite flexible for women to access loans. One of the challenges that we have when it comes to women in business is accessibility to loans and other logistics. The president said to be programs and activities of the ministry is going to God willing present the budget. This would be adequately captured in the budget. And then also there are other stakeholders that donor partners and private sector who are expected to come on board to ensure that this is adequately catered for. And so
I believe the people of Zabzugu, particularly the women, will also benefit. Thank you.
sure.
My second question is about a program that was started in 2008. I believe it is for most of us, the MPs for rural communities and rural areas. The livelihood value for communities and widows kept asking me and asking why are they not benefiting from that program. In most communities in South Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The intention is to go into the ministry, have a look at what is going on, what the gaps are, have a stakeholders meeting, and move it from there. But the plan of their economic situation is better than it is now, will be great, so that we can expand it and more people can benefit from it. So yes, your people would definitely be considered. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I will now give the floor to Deputy Minority Whip, Honorable Shadow. If you have a question.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Thank you very much. Honorable Namu, Anyaku,
Yay.
and he made some specific statements with reference to gender. And that the man is a man and the woman is a woman. I just want to find out from you, as the current legal and societal stance on the LGBTQ plus rights in Ghana. What is your position as Minister of Gender, Children and Social Protection on the promotion of the proper human rights
That is 3 questions, but I will allow the nominee to answer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. With respect to what the President Donald Trump has stated, I believe that I go by what the Constitution of Ghana says. A man is a man of Ghana, has loudly declared. There's no way I can go contrary to that. I am a representative of them. And I think the President has also clearly stated his stand. And one of the things beyond even the inaction, so that the children will know some of these family values right from the beginning, I think it is more sustainable, and it also adds on when there is a law working. Thank you.
Any further question?
question. Family values.
Thank you very much. I think I will leave that debate for legal brains, and then what they guide, I will take it up from there. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any further questions?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, the 2024 to mandate. Yes, we are in love with the manifesto. We just want to ensure everything is well sorted out. To mandate 4 months of paid maternity leave. How will you advocate for the extension of maternity leave from the current 3 months? Because we are all aware it's 3 months now. How do you intend to, and how do you plan?
Or are still advocating for paternal leave, and if it is important for them to take a break to support their family, then it is more important for women to have a prolonged period. Not only to do that, but there are other ways on a more serious note to do that. Creating in the company that makes it child friendly for the women, so they don't have to be worried. Psychologically, the woman can be present or physically present in the company, yet the mind is at home. And so you can have everything they're working for you, but to have the utmost output, it is better we make sure that there's holistic care. And so I will sit with all stakeholders. There are
Thank you very much.
A follow-up.
Very well.
So are you intending to advocate for paternity leave?
I would love to advocate for that, but I also love beyond that to ensure that there are some measures to ensure that when the men take the paternity leave, they actually spend it with the family. Good morning.
Just two questions for you. I note that you have touched on affirmative action at Parliament. Have you looked at it again when it was passed into law?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, I have. Actually, I was a member of the Gender Committee, and we worked on the bill together. Thank you.
What in the bill would you say excites you as far as your
In fact, practice gender friendly. So mainstreaming gender into or affirmative action into our laws and policies in the workplace, and also our practice.
Further question?
thank you, Women's Law and Human Rights Institute, National Coalition on Domestic Violence, and also a partner at Alantum for Development. Tell us how your association with these institutions will impact on gender, children, and social protection.
Thank you, Mr. Time they have programs and activities, they remember me even if I'm not able to go there. to state that coming into this position, the world of gender activism, this is my support base. These are the people, the organ.
Years ago, you've acquitted yourself very well, and you actually became parliamentary work, not related to our core activities as in legislation, but other programs coordinated to parliament. On your work. Now, also to our neglect, will you your programs from the gender ministry will also take into consideration issues concerning us, yeah, especially us. Thank you. Especially those of us who are beaten at home.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think I can sum up the Affirmative Action Act as a corrective measure. And so where there is an imbalance, whether it is skewed towards men or
Lots of adolescent school-going girls refuse to go to school when they are in that critical time of the month, and it affects their studies. And will you consider rolling this out vigorously, especially in the rural areas like my constituency in Southern? As an MP, I spend a lot in procuring this to give to girls, and periodic
that we also pray for women and girls to have adequate protection, because the lack of funding or support to procure sanitary pads has further made girls more vulnerable in society, in the sense that UNFPA can tell you that they have data that shows that there's the most girls fall prey to men who can provide sanitary pads for them, and it is also because of the passionately and then find to ensure that it is affordable to all. We have to find a way of making sure that we can supply to especially the underprivileged, like your constituents, like my constituents, or others, and then they will also have some leverage so that that support can go a long way to minimize their
in getting a bill, as it were, to actually deal with the tax waiver issues that you speak, especially for companies that are set up locally and are into the manufacture and production of these parts for our girls. Not only tax waivers for, but specifically to encourage companies who are locally established to produce these on massive scale to support.
Thank you very much. I will now give the floor to Honorable Rickett.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. And the nominee, Honorable Agnes Namumulati. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Your CV, really, under money, posted YouTube. And I have no doubt in my mind that you will succeed at that ministry. I'm not going to ask you a question, but a word of advice. Haven't had the opportunity for the last 8 years or 12 years to serve on that committee, gender committee, and deputy ministers and all that. And that has created a lot of problems in terms of moving that ministry forward. I'm not going to ask you the strategies you will adopt because the problems could be many. It's an approach. But just to caution you, to make sure that you keep a good relationship with your subordinate.
Thank you very much. I will now give the floor to the ranking member in minority.
Chairman, thank you. Honorable nominee, let me commend you for your nomination.
Thank you.
If you have your CV by you, I'm sure you are very familiar with it. So going to page 2 of your CV. And I wish to know from you, for the period of work you have done, are there any lessons
lesson you find relevant that you can even contextualize into your ministry if we grant you a passage? Any key lessons?
The fact that there's a thin line between being okay and being vulnerable. And one of the things that we overlook is that vulnerability can come from separation or divorce, and also non-maintenance, that is lack of child maintenance. And so most of the children street are from broken homes, and some of them are there with single parents. And so the issue of supporting families to survive, have proper able to count on somebody to save the street.
Mr. Chair, will the nominee be gracious enough to tell me or to tell Ghanaians what your manifesto hopes to achieve in this context?
Thank you very much. I think one of the key things that the manifesto proposes, purpose vehicle, that will support children in ensuring that they are safe, not just orphans, but also children who fall prey to child trafficking. And so in the manifesto, you realize that we are going to work to develop a framework to ensure the safety of the vulnerable, and also provide support for reintegration and all that. And so that is, in summation,
support for the vulnerable child. How, in terms of its implementation, how are you going to ensure its implementation devoid of partisanship? You are going to be there, your party people are going to come with all manner of applications. How are you going to do it to ultimately achieve an approach? Chairman, I'm sure you listen to me. What I meant con the nominee is, I'm being very practical. It's coming on a ticket of political party. And she already admitted that it's one of the policy directives in the manifesto that vulnerable children will be supported. Nominee, am I right?
yes, sir.
Are you with me? Yes. So
thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I think for me, everybody who knows me will tell you that I first of all see a person as a person devoid of partisan coloration. So if I'm supposed Yes, Mr. Chairman. For this, knows that are from my party.
So I want you, my good friend, let me test your understanding. Don't worry, I'll be brief. Just relax, relax, you'll be fine. Your understanding on the school feeding project, you know, its antecedents and the, the, the tortoise path we traveled to where we are now. What is your appreciation of the high points and low points of the school feeding project?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I think the school feeding program is something that all of us appreciate because if it for the highs, I would say it's a good project that we intend to improve on. The other side of it is the processes leading to the feeding, ensuring that there's quality and also accessibility and timeliness in terms of the supply that I will look at improving and then adding on. Thank you.
Honorable nominee, you have touched on the quality and also timely delivery. I couldn't agree more with you. What is your assessment of the current situation?
Part of my life is also in local governance, and so it comes with decentralization and applied on time, and then also we can keep an eye on the quality from the district level. And so I'll be glad to sit with all stakeholders involved to look at how this implementation will work out so that the beneficiaries have the best of it. And then also support those who are the service providers to do what is right. Thank you.
I am aware the
What that should be
6 questions, and for each of the 6 questions, I have potential follow-ups. Oh, Chairman, don't do that.
That is not the case.
Okay,
Honorable member, when we agreed on something, let's go by what we have agreed.
You know,
so you have one more question.
Yes. I have one more and potential follow-up. Yes. Oh. Honorable nominee, your party's manifesto eloquently speaks to women models across the world that we can all buy into and say that these are practical examples that we can appropriate into our situation. Women's Development Bank. And don't you consider it, with respect to our women here, don't you consider it discriminatory where you don't have a counterpart
supposed to look at both sex.
The best. So there's an already existing financial support base that serves the interest of men more than women. I also stated that most of the women are in the informal sector where we don't have the collateral, where we cannot afford the high interest rates that are being charged in the traditional banking system. And so this is something that will go a long way to help. And I'm glad, and I know the people of Ghana are also or the ministry is one of those that are actually intersectorial. So we depend on other ministries when it comes to things like this. And so the finance ministry is heavy on this, and I'm sure that the needed guidance given by the finance ministry, and then we will be the end beneficiaries of it. Thank you.
I would have wished to ask you a follow-up.
Thank you very much. Honorable Agnes Namomo, I'm so happy to see you here today.
Thank you.
I think you're one of the nominees that when I heard it, I was so excited. So thank you for being here. And also I'd like to commend you for your answers, your depth of knowledge of your sector, and some of the answers you've given here is exactly what we want to hear. As a gender advocate myself, I'm so proud to see you here. My question goes to the school fee. The most vulnerable because they are growing, their voices are still growing, and specifically as a certain specialist myself, that we give them an
Question, please.
as yes, I'm asking it. As we have seen, the food is not very nutritious. So what will you do to ensure that the food is balanced and nutritious? Thank you.
I can appreciate
On your profile, education on this for me.
Thank you, Mr. I've had non-governmental organization. I can mention two development. I can mention Global Initiative on Development. I can mention the Addition and a couple of others, including international organization, Universal. But I've also had the privilege of consulting along for Aid Ghana. And so a couple of the organizations shall work on DFID projects on and so forth. So at every given I've had the opportunity to support one advocacy issue or the other, whether locally or internationally. And so that has built my experience in child care.
Hometown.
Yes, sir.
How did you derive this hometown?
Mr. Chair, my basic knowledge, my hometown is where I believe I come from, and so I'm Asian. My parents are both from Gwa, and I'm a Ghana, and so that's why I stayed there.
So just for the avoidance of doubt, you done
No, sir, but I'm in a close relation to Dangwe, so a Dangwe American, but it's close language.
I want to have clarity. Are you speak the Dangwe language or apparently from the Dangwe area?
Many things like what the honorable asked, I can respond. So that is my understanding of it.
Fair enough. So you don't speak Dangwe.
I don't.
Still on page 1 of your CV, let's first deal with your leadership. I read MPhil leadership, comma, column, women participating in leadership, column, challenges and process to the development of leisure pro municipal assembly. Dash June 17. I have two for you there. One, course structured in a thought in part and research in part, or it was a full research without, was it a full time?
Full time, but evenings.
Now, thoughts of the program, was it for the first year?
Yes, sir.
Right. within this period that you were going through this thoughts program, the 1 year, also working.
Yes.
So when you say full-time work, right?
Or sometimes at 6.
So we should assume you close from work and attended your evening full-time job.
Yes, sir.
Very well. Now,
Set up submit to your supervisor. We go through it and then minister. And then once gone through everything, once defended,
June 2017. Please, can you clarify?
when I was doing the MPhil, I had then applied to Legon, University of Ghana. In fact, it was one of the reasons why I went in for the MPhil. And within the period, the a 3-year course to a 4-year course. So the waiting period was when I decided to undertake this course. So if you look at it critically, you realize that my final year, that was in 2014, I had to juggle between going for the PhD class and then also doing my finish.
Ask you very strong questions. PhD, Institute of African Studies, University of Ghana, Legon, September 2014 through December 2020. So if you say that in your final year you had issues, it couldn't have been, because you see, you started MPhil and PhD at the same time. I find that very curious. So it wasn't the case that there was, when you were about finishing one, you started the other. And that is why you had some delay. I want you to have an opportunity to clarify.
Thank you. With the MPhil, I actually, and the PhD was in 2014. The MPhil coursework was supposed to be.
Honorable member, would you
Let's take the answer, then you can do a follow-up.
correct. As much as possible, I don't want to get into the ocean. I want to guide the air. I'll give the same protection you give her. So please, when I want to allow that, but if I mean, on the start date, would you want to amend your CV?
Yes, sir.
Very well. I yield to chairman for you to apply for his leave to amend.
2013. I was trying to be specific, but the MPhil program is somewhere 2013.
When in 2013, because it's an academic year, it starts from a point. When in 2013, respectfully?
I have September on record, and so I
Maintain
would,
the September.
yes, I want
And
to,
then just amend the year.
yes,
Very well. Any further amendment, please? Staying there for a moment.
okay.
So I just want you to have the opportunity. The start date.
The start date, the completion date is not in doubt.
Okay. So you are not changing the completion date.
No, the completion date is not in doubt.
Very well. So let's go to the PhD. Are you maintaining the start date for the PhD as well? And the completion date for the PhD as well?
Yes, sir.
Very well. Now, honorable colleague, do you have your certificate for the MPhil, please?
Yes, please.
What is the date on it for the graduation? The date of the certificate? It has to be assessed. You need some period to defend it.
Yeah.
When you submitted your thesis for the MPhil, how long did it take you to defend it? The supervisors, how long did it take them to get back to you that they have marked your thesis and everything was okay? Was it a month, 2 months, 3 months, 1 week, 3 days, 1 day?
For the MPhil, I will not have a clear.
Let's take the minimum of 2 months, the one you recollect. Now, having told this committee that upon submission, it took 2 months for your assessors to get back to you, at least we use the 2 months. Check again on your CV and the certificate would you have. Would you want to take chairman's leave to amend your records again? Thank you. For records, that you were done your program in March 2017, but your thesis delayed. So you submitted your thesis in June of 2017. In fact, that is what you stated here, that your project work research you submitted June 2017. You have a moment ago also, or more, very well, that's okay. I just going to take 2 months minimum to look at it, mark, get an external assessor to also look at it, which means that in June when you submit it, you would have July and you would have August. Okay? Minimum. You cannot graduate in June MPhil in June 2017. Is the reason why I ask you again. Sometimes we all forget. Sometimes we want to be given the chance. It could be that whoever typed your CV made some mistakes. We all give instructions to our secretaries, type this for me. I understand as an administrator, a man leader, there are some errors. So I'm giving you one more opportunity. Would you want to take chairman's leave to amend those records also? Because this is going into public records. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Let me also state that the certificate that is being referred to here.
Honorable colleague, let's take it step by step. So when did you submit your thesis to UPSA? Which date did you submit your thesis to UPSA?
There's a
Leader, with all due respect, let's abide by the rules. If a question is asked, kindly allow the witness to place the answer on record. Then you can follow up with another question where the witness is in the process, or the nominee is in the process of answering the question. Then you come in to say, no, honorable leader, with all due respect, I do not think that is it. Can follow up. Thank you very much.
When did you submit your MPhil dissertation?
in 2016.
Your MPhil program at UPSA, when did it start and when did it end?
I stated earlier, somewhere 2013. When I said completion, including graduation, was around 2017. If you check the records, I did not even graduate with my colleagues. So I stayed, I had a year delay or some months or something delay. But I submitted in 2016.
There's a difference between graduation and submission, which would conclude your remember the month?
No, sir.
Now, honorable colleague, let's go to your PhD. What was your area of research?
I was at the beauty or the recreational value of beaches or natural resources. There's the commercial aspect of it. So basically looking at the challenges in managing natural resources, whether additional authorities or the conflicts that
Such as the beaches. So, your research, what did you eventually uncover in terms of the natural resources that you're referring to? I just want you to situate it in a manner that the ordinary person would appreciate exactly what you did.
so it's qualitative how the beaches can be managed to elicit the best out of it in terms of value to the nation, and then the people who are the custodians of it, how the various stakeholders and players in the field can collaborate.
Have you shared the outcome of your work with the tourism authority or the various assemblies to enable them
So that some quality work is done so that the lessons and publications can go to the various. I'll look at the tourism minister, sit with her, look at some lessons and how best she can inculcate them, and we can.
when you say you see with your supervisor to ensure that some quality work is done, what exactly do you mean?
We have plans of doing some joint publications, and so we'll lean on that.
Thank you. Please, let's go to page 2 of your CV. 1981 to 1986. Then we have ordinary level certificate. Nungwa Secondary School, Accra, September 1988 to June 1993. I presume you did a common entrance.
No, sir.
Okay. You have a gap of 2 years. So the 86, 87. So there's no school within that 2 years. Then you come to 1988 to 93, which is 5 years, Form 1 to Form 5. So can you explain to us what you did, what schooling you had between that period that your records do not reflect same, please?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Within that 2-year period, there was a new system there, so I had to try first year of secondary school at Presby Commercial, and so I went by the common entrance. I went to secondary school first year at what we call, where we call pre-circle. I am going to Noah Secondary School.
So you went to Nungwa Secondary School?
Presby Secondary School.
First year of GHS or JSS?
First year.
So you mean you had a transfer?
Same.
Okay. So that is what is missing. That is creating that 2-year gap.
Yes, sir.
Very well. But then if you have done a first year already and you did a transfer, that suggests that you go to Form 2. Or you repeated year 1 again?
Yes, I did. I actually did 2 terms for the first year. I joined them in second year, and so when I got to Nungwa Secondary School, I had yes.
Very well. So you mean going to pre-circle?
The DHS.
Very well. I'll leave that. You've also indicated you did MA, Human Resource Development,
Yes,
University of Cape Coast, from September 2000. So would you want to take the leave of Mr. Chair to amend your records, please?
Having stated it was 2004, leave is accordingly granted.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Now, you indicated earlier, so let's reconcile page 3 and page 8. You also indicate there that you were page 9, rather, go back to page 9. Let's start with page 9. So let's look at 3 bits. You say full-time employment. That has come under your employment history. And then when you come to the second vice president, that is under membership / leadership. So what, what, what do you have to say to both?
The second vice bid is an elected position. And so I contested that before becoming the general secretary.
Okay. Is there anything you would want to amend?
Page 9.
Well, on both, I mean, look carefully. I would skip that, and maybe later you can take chair's leave to check. A woman, the very natural state. Do you share in this opinion?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Like I earlier said, it's in line with our constitution, and so I share that.
Very well. You were in Parliament between 2021 and 2025 January 6th. That is the 8th Parliament. You were there.
Yes, sir.
That's a fact. One of